A lot of people have been asking me how I began my journey of walking in a healthier lifestyle, and honestly, it was a wake-up call. I shared that in my video the other day, letting people know how I had begun this journey and what had happened, and the results even as recently as last week when I went to the doctor and had a physical, and they told me I was the best I had been in like 10 years. I was one of those people that had experienced a couple of things related to environmental. My home was invaded by black mold. Some of you may actually remember that. And I didn't know it. And a year later, I was laying in bed and all of a sudden I couldn't breathe. And I ended up sleeping in my van for a couple of days while I went through that debacle. But one of the things that helped me a lot, and I really honestly didn't think much about it, was a product within the Plexus line. I began taking a couple of products right from the get-go, and that combination, you'll see it available on my website or mentioned. It's called Triplex. And I think one of the best products within that group, and I love all three of them, but the best product for me was the probiotic that just dealt with a lot of things that I had encountered. And honestly, I didn't think it was going to work. I had been on probiotics for years. I had spent a lot of stupid money on them, to be honest with you, and I never really saw any results until I began taking the Plexus. And I was such a real-time skeptic that I never thought it was going to work. So when it did happen, no one was more amazed than me. But as I look at some of these things that I began and where I'm at now, people ask me how can you move along with these things? One of the things I was laughing about the most is I don't own a gym, but I go to a gym. I don't own Plexus, but I utilize Plexus. I don't own a water company, and I do those things as well. And I thought sometimes we get so many things caught up in our mind that keep us from the very thing that we want, which is really to be healthier. Sometimes that begins mentally, and I honestly believe a lot of it begins in the realm of how we perceive and how we walk out things. I remember having a fitness coach tell me a couple of years ago that until your mind's ready, don't engage the body. And I think that's kind of where I was at. I stopped engaging. But one of the things I've found beyond a shadow of a doubt is if I go to the gym, I get results. If I drink lots of water, I get results. If I take Plexus, I get lots of results. If I eat better food, I get lots of results. And so I'm not going to sit here and point fingers at one thing or another. I think they all add up to where I'm at a year later. And I never really ever thought that Plexus was going to be my silver bullet or my magic bullet, but somehow it got me through the place where I was able to engage in other things. I was just laughing that it was only a year ago that I went out and spent the most money I've ever spent on a pair of shoes in probably 40 years. And I did it because I came to realize that I was valuable and I was worth it. So just wanted to share this with you. If you have any questions on Plexus or even some of the things I've engaged in moving ahead in my better journey, my healthier journey, feel free to reach out to me. You can always contact me through Facebook or whatever method is easiest for you. Thanks. God bless.